Hello, welcome to another episode of Shit Happens. And this is a very truly special episode for me because I have my pod family with me, and not one, not two, not three, but four. Is it four? Yes, I'm hoping so. But welcome to Shit Happens, where we're gonna talk to the pod fam about a recent shit that happened to me, which was winning a community award, y'all. So when I say shit happens, shit literally happened at Podfest, and we're gonna jump into that. Without further ado, let me start by bringing one on one. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Malaysia for a minute. Let's go to Asia. Hey, Peter. Welcome to Shit Happens.
Hi, Paula.
How are you doing?
Great, great. So I really nice to meet you in person and we get the hug together. I know you are a hugger, yes.
Yes, and I got to also volunteer with you and do some stuff. We were literally creating content. Every time I look at those pictures, I'm like, I miss Peter. Oh my God. Thank you for hanging out with me
Yeah,
at
thank
Podfest.
you.
And it was amazing to see you. But most of all, thank you for bringing me my best friend's book all the way from Malaysia.
You're welcome.
Now we're going to head to Canada. Let's go ahead and bring on the voice of a lady.
Hello,
How are you,
hello.
Jodi?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am great. It's so good to have you here. And it's so special because it's twice in one day. Like literally I got to hang out with you guys an hour ago.
Yeah,
I love it. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah,
So
it
how
was
come you're
great.
not coming to Atlanta for voiceover?
It's a very big convention, and I've been previously, but I haven't been since I think 2018. And I'm an introvert. It's hard to know, I guess, because I'm on a lot of these live streams and I do guest on podcasts on a pretty regular basis. And my work is fairly forward facing, but that's, me personally when, I'm at home, I am a raging introvert.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that you bring that you bring the introvert of you at Podfest. And so as long as you keep coming to Podfest, I'm okay with you missing all these other ones. No shade. I'm just
I will be there every year. I've already planned for next year. We're all good.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
And then we have this man is so special, y'all. Y'all, like I love this man. We have Glenn the Geek. How are you, Glenn?
Good to see you all. I'm coming to you from my mobile studio. We're on the road doing shows in Aiken, South Carolina. So we actually set up in the back of the horse trailer when we do that. So I'm
I
probably the
love
only
it.
mobile studio in the back of a horse trailer. Uh,
I would say so.
I would say so too.
That's pretty specific there, Glenn.
yeah.
I know, and the fact that it's even a mobile studio, like so there's that, and then a mobile studio now, host trailer, like it's two in one. Like wow.
Yeah, we visit our listeners a lot and we stay at their farms. So we have a living quarters in the front of the horse trailer. And when we're traveling without the horses, then we set it up back here as a studio. We had it all insulated and electric put back here. So it really is set up for horses and a studio. Um,
I just want to say, when I grow up, I want to be like Glenn the Geek, cause, cause I like you do amazing stuff. Like it's unbelievable.
we get to have some fun. We do get to have some fun.
And that's the thing. I love that about you. You prioritize entertainment over education. And I'm all about that. If you have met me at Podfest, like I'm there for a little bit of education, but I'm also there for the entertainment part.
No, I think you are the entertainment.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
true.
That part, which we are missing the man himself. Where is Chris?
Good question. I don't know. And he's the one that created this award, actually.
I know. It's like how you the man behind this and you're running late. I hope he hasn't forgotten or something. But
Well, congratulations to all three of you for winning this year.
Thank you.
Uh,
thank you, thank you,
it's
thank you,
interesting
thank you.
because the award's named after me, but I never know who's going to win. He always tells me that day. So I really don't know until that day who he has in mind and who's going to win. So it's a surprise for me every year too.
I like that. I like that you get to be, but you get to be shocked with us, but at least you get like 12 hours advance to be like, I have a secret you don't know. Like Glenn was walking around and just smiling at me, and I thought, I look pretty, so he's just smiling at me, not knowing that he's like, I know what's happening to you later today.
Oh,
I was
boy.
shocked the first time. I didn't know anything about the award till he gave it, and I don't know how many years ago it was. It might have been 6 or 7 that he came up with this award, and I was as shocked as you guys. I had no idea. And it's a community service award. It's for those of us that really try and help the community without asking for anything back. And I've been really helping at Podfest since day one. So helping run it and just volunteering for anything that he's done because I hate to be bored. So
And speaking of that, he's finally arrived.
yay!
He did not he
Yay!
did not leave us hanging. Chris is here.
Ooh.
What's up, guys?
Hi,
Hello,
Chris.
hello. How are you
All right.
doing today?
Good. I was just cleaning out my inbox. I lost track of time. It's one of those. Just
And you know why you are in that mood? Because I hate when I have so many emails. So when I'm in that mood of categorizing them or deleting them, like I really be in that mood and I'm like, oh, I gotta go do something else. But I was
Yeah, you get
literally
lost.
like,
I usually put a timer on my phone because sometimes you could literally get lost and see emails. Glenn, is that like a bunk bed behind you? Is that where you
No, this
sleep
is
upstairs?
it's the back of the horse trailer. We're
Oh,
traveling
okay. Yeah,
right
got
now.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
he's
I don't know
on
if you're
his
showing us your
mobile
bunk bed.
trailer today. So, Chris, thank you for joining us. It's really an honor to have both of you. This is the first time I'm doing a 5 people live streaming, and all my pod family. And most of you, we were actually together an hour ago. So it's like a special day, and I get to hang out with you for a little bit longer. So the whole purpose I wanted us to come here because shit happens, and at Podfest shit always happens, and some of us got awarded a very honorable award, and I'm a person who I believe if I have an award or something under my name, I want to know the history. I want to know so that I can really, even though I'm already proud of it, but when people ask me, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's just Glenn the Geek Community Hero Award.
That guy.
I wanna. So tell us where this idea of the award came from and when did it start? And I want to know who the other recipients are before me. Maybe we can create our own group, our own society, sorority.
The award. So in the early years of Podfest, Glenn the Geek literally did more shows than all the attendees combined times 10. So people would always ask him questions after Podfest, and he was very happy and generous to support the community. And then he would also call me up and say, Chris, I know you're probably not going to ask for help, so I'm going to help you anyway. So this is what I'm going to do. Put me to work and let me know where you're going to be at. And he would just figure out how to help. And it was literally a blessing. Well, it got to a point where the community was getting so big, there's only so much of Glenn to go around. So we figured, why don't we create the Glenn the Geek, community award so other people could, we could exponentialize what Glenn as one person could do, but to exponentialize that impact. So that award was created out of wanting to have other people like Glenn that people could know and trust. So, because there's no way as we got bigger that one person could even handle that kind of incoming. Because I remember one time, Glenn, you could correct me. He had like 50. See, I'm a promoter, so I have no idea what happens after I say something. But I got used to saying, "Hey, if you need help, Glenn will be more than happy to help you." Well, when we got to the size where we had 400 or 500 people attending Podfest, poor Glenn would have 50, 60 emails, literally of people asking him questions in his inbox, which I had no clue about, and he was like, we need to have other helpers.
Yeah, it did get overwhelming there for a while.
Remember that? That
Yeah.
was crazy. It was getting to a point
Well,
where
I remember.
yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that's like. I know what it's like to get your email bombed, but not like for one, like 50 different people asking pretty much the same question in different variations. So that was a very special thing. So now the three of you carry that legacy in different ways. So different people in the community have different people they feel are part of it. So that's my part of the story behind it. I don't know, Glenn, what you remember as it's gone on, but I believe Lee Silverstein was a Glenn the Geek Hero Award. I'm pretty sure. So you guys are.
Demi Lagana was the 1 year. And then last year, or was it last year, Zach
Demopoulos. So you guys are in this like really good company of some of the greatest people, and we don't limit. Like some years it's one person. This year it's just we had 3 deserving people, so deserving that all 3 of you were honored with that award. So it's like who exemplifies that essence, and then we just look through the community of people that you can't. It's undeniable that the 3 of you in different ways exemplify the essence of helping one another.
And I just want to say, it's the international. We have Tanzanian, we have Canadian, and we have Malaysian. So it was a stage of international receiving this award. Like it was such an honor to receive this award in the same space with Jodi and Peter, because, oh my God, the things you guys do for the community. And Peter, like, I think I have energy, but you are a whole different level. Like, respect to you.
He puts us to shame. Are you kidding me?
It's funny because last week, 2 weeks ago, Tiffany and David hosted a roundtable for speakers to prepare people in their community to apply to speak at Podfest. And somebody asked the question, and I responded on the chat. And then David was like, I can't believe Paula did that before you, because we're so used to Peter being the Flash, right? Peter the Flash. So I was like, oh my God, I need to screenshot this. At least I beat Peter one time. But Glenn, how does it feel for you to have an award there? And actually, have you actually received this award yourself? Because I feel like Glenn the Geek Community Hero Award to Glenn the Geek himself. Like,
well, I got it the first year. That's how it started. I did get it the first year, and I didn't have. Chris is very good at keeping secrets. If he doesn't want you to know something, you're not going to know it. And I had no idea. And if he kept the secret from me, I figure he can pretty much keep a secret from anybody. But yeah, I was shocked, and I'm honored. I'm obviously honored that that legacy, that the community legacy goes on, because that's how Podfest started. We're a community. We've always been a family from day one. When it was 60 people 10 years ago to the time now it's 2,000 people. 10 years later, we're, as you saw this year at the conference, it is a family. Everybody knows each other. They're all talking in the halls. They get along. Even the introverts. We let Jodi in. And she's there.
Thank you so much.
But you know what? We've known each other for years and years and years, and it's all through this community. And all my friends in podcasting are from Podfest, and that's what makes Podfest special over any other conference I've ever been to in any field. Is you truly do get to know each other, and it's truly a family. It's all thanks to Chris. Chris is the one that brings that family feeling to it.
Well, it extends now to you guys. Well, Glenn, you helped me extend that. You and Neil and a couple people, my wife Katie, in the early years, and now as we grow, it's funny. When I was in the hallways, people would say to me, "I met the mayor of Podfest." I knew who that was, because Paul would go up to everybody online and say, "I'm the unofficial mayor of Podfest." So you would know right away, or I met, the international ambassador. Everybody knows that's Peter Ong making the rounds, like you said, the Flash. And Jodi is known for her coffee meetups, which we heard rave reviews of people. And I'm glad we found like the right spot this year. Yeah. People really crave that. And each recipient this year in their own way was able to make their mark heard. The cool part is one day, Paula, will have, who knows, 4 or 5 other recipients moving forward that'll be here, because Zach, Lee, Jemmy, all these people have made their marks. And now you guys are the next group to really help grow and find the next, Glenn, the Geek Community Hero Awards, or award recipients, I should say.
I love that. And Jodi, that's so true. Like, I was volunteering at the reception when your coffee meetup was about to start, and the way people just flooded, and to just watch how people were engaging over having coffee, just the thought of like I get it, coffee is easily accessible, but the fact that it was hosted in a meetup and it wasn't about it being free or anything, but the way people were just there engaging and everybody was like, "Who's the coffee lady?" I'm like, "Okay."
I love coffee as one of those
Mhm.
meeting things. It's just one of those things that draws people together, whether you love it or hate it, or you
Yeah.
prefer tea or whatever. It's just a nice way to for everyone to gather and talk, and not in a party necessarily,
Right.
because there's places for that too.
Yep.
But this is a different kind of thing.
Used to do that too virtually in the Woover app. So you've literally like since I've met you in this community, I've seen you do that. Like I know like whenever I go to the Woover up in the meetups, every morning there'll be a coffee meetup with Jodi.
Yeah.
I didn't end up doing it this year because I was actually physically there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a little hard to do that early in the morning. But yeah, on the virtual ones, I love doing that. It's just the greatest way to get to know people. I just find it really fun and
Mhm.
entertaining for everybody. And of
And-
course, good coffee. I mean, come on.
And
It
Jodi,
was good coffee.
and Paula and Jodi, that thing that we do, Jodi's thing is like a special. Like most sponsors, when you do coffee, just it's like someone's logo on a napkin and a little table tent, and people get coffee. What we do with Jodi is a very custom, like it's its own little sponsorship that we've created because of Jodi. So it's like that has its own unique DNA that people don't even realize. Like that's not normally you go to a conference, coffee literally is the logo of the company, and like Jodi said, it's in like the trade show or something. Everybody gets a thing. This is an experience with Jodi because she's hosting it, so it's really special. I really love that because that just makes it special, which gives Podfest that feel.
I
Can
like
I
to
ask
be
Peter a
there.
question?
Yes,
Yeah.
you may.
Peter, so what surprised you? Podfest different, better? What surprised you when you came in person, all from thousands of miles away?
Yeah, the most surprised me is you all is a really so kind, and then and then welcome me to all the podcast, and make everyone like the friend, like the family. So everyone, hey, hi Peter, like the Paula, hi Peter. So it's really so excited for me. Yeah.
Peter was like a celeb, because you've constantly been seeing this person for 3 years on virtual. He never misses anything, and not just when Podfest is going, but like when Podfest is going, Podfest go, but when the town hall meetups, when everything is always there, and then now you actually get to see him in live, and he traveled so many. Like every time I was even hanging out with Peter, I was like, okay, you're messing my credibility because people were no longer seeing me. They're like, Peter. I'm like, damn it, I'm Paula. Like, see me, but now I'm joking. But it was nice to see, and that's the feel I have of Podfest. Like I tell people that my podcast journey wouldn't have been where it is if it wasn't for Podfest. Because when I started it, I didn't know how long I was gonna do it. It was just a thing during COVID to get me out of whatever, right? But once I got the ticket from Buzzsprout and attended Podfest, I think the first one there was something you kind of did on 2021 in the late in the evening before the global one in 2022. I think it was masterclass or something that was
Yeah,
done.
sorry,
Yeah, that was
masterclass.
yeah. And then I was like, oh wow. Because I followed people and I started reaching out to them. And then the next year when I went to the actual one, the 2 weeks, and everybody was nice, I was like, I kind of want to be a part of this. Like, I feel like I found my people because everybody was just kind and helpful. And so going from doing that virtually for 2 years and finally attending it in 2022, I was so nervous and scared because I know my personality and my energy in real life. Like you think online it's that, but in real life, it's all. But the way everybody just felt like, yeah, we have known each other for 2 years online, so we are already like family. Everybody's just like, Paula, like, hey, how you doing? And you just walk up to people and say hi and smile, and people just gravitate to you and want to know about you. And that just filled my cup. I remember when I came back from the 2022 one, I said, no matter what, whether I have the funds or not, I will find a way to attend Podfest. And this is literally the only last year for the first time I attended Afros, but this is literally the only conference I attend. Like, not because I don't want to explore others, but life happens and everything. But with Podfest, I'm like, I'm not gonna ever miss it. And even though whenever I have my ticket and I see people, like, I know I'm leaving on Wednesday to go to Podfest, and then I start seeing people posting on Tuesday or Monday they're heading there, and I'm like, I'm already getting FOMO, even though I know I'm gonna be there in 2 days. I'm like, why are you there before me? Like, I need to be there. Like, people are already there. I want to be with my people. So it's really an essence of what a family you have created. And you don't even have to sell to people to be nice or kind, or like, people come and get the feel and they're like, I want to give back. How more can I do? What more can I do? How can I help? How can I help be a part of this fun? So thank you, Chris, for giving us that to us, like, for real.
Thank you for allowing me to hear it. It's great to hear your experience, and I know you guys all support. One of the things Peter said when he came in from Malaysia is, where can I help, stuff the bags with the, it's like, you just came from Malaysia. He wanted to support and help right away. So it's really nice to see that. And Paula, when you are working the line where people are waiting for, like, whatever it is, wherever they're waiting, I know that you're working that line. I can't tell you how happy that makes me feel, because when people wait online, that's a source of frustration for whatever reason. And when you go up and you start making them happy, you're infusing them with the Podfest spirit, so they come into the room happy. So I can't tell you how much that means to me. And like I said, with Jodi's coffee, when I walked by there, I saw all those people hanging out, having such a great time. And like you said, Jodi, it's a different vibe, and it's a much needed vibe, because we have all the after hours stuff.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And I like that, because that's your vibe, is more deep conversations in an intimate setting, which I know my wife, Katie, really enjoys.
I have to say that as an introvert, I have no trouble being at Podfest. It's one of those really interesting phenomenon that I'm amazed by. Just that everyone that I speak to and meet at Podfest is just so welcoming and wonderful. And those conversations that you have in the hallways, which is what I wanted to do with the coffee chat, they're the most rewarding for me. That's, and even as an introvert, I wouldn't normally put myself out to 2,000 people. But, it works in the Podfest setting, and I love it. So thank you for making that possible.
One of the problems we have, and Glenn and my wife Katie have created this problem, no one goes in the education, because they all hang out in the hallways. So a lot of the OGs have been around for a couple of times. They're happy to tell everybody about that. It's like, no, don't brag about it. I go, let them discover that on their own, because then you get some speakers like, where is everybody? They're here. They just happen to be right outside your room. Now, luckily this year we didn't have that as much of a problem, because we had a lot of people attending the education. But I noticed that with the veterans, they won't go in the room. They'll just ask. They're like, I could ask my friend tomorrow what I miss.
And that's the thing, but I also do that, but not intentionally. It just happens that on the hallway, as you pass, you'll find Glenn and Zach and whoever sitting, and you're like, I want to know, I want to go there. And then you end up distracted. Like, I was literally heading to somebody's talk, but now I found these people, and I want to hear what they're talking about. And then you go to the next side and you find Gordon sitting and probably talking about something, and you're like, when again am I going to get to sit in whatever Gordon is saying? So you end up sitting and time just goes. But I always tell people, like, just buy the recordings that way, because you might plan, even sometimes if you're planning on attending those talks, you might just get derailed at the hallways. And it's funny because a lot of people, last year, I tell a lot of people about Podfest, right? And people always think, like, are you getting paid? Like, why are you talking so much about Podfest compared? I'm like, I am not getting paid. I don't get anything out of it. But I know how much it has done for me and how much it can do for you. And I tell people, like, you might say you have not found your community or whatever, but like a Podfest, everybody fits in. Like, no matter who you are, like, the introverts will fit in. Like, there's space for everybody. So this year, a lot of the people I invited came, even my friend from Canada and everything. And you know what my friend from Canada told me the day I was leaving? I was like, I hate that I'm leaving early morning, and I hate that I came like late Wednesday night. Next year I'm coming the day before and staying till the very end. I was like, that's what I love to hear, because they came, and I didn't even hang out with him as much. Like I showed him around and let him do his own thing. But he literally was coming to me. And when he was coming, he was like, I'm just going to be around for a bit and enjoy Florida. Like I'm going to be there, but... And he didn't even get to enjoy Florida. He was literally in rooms and doing meetups and everything. I was like, I wasn't expecting all this. I'm like, power of Podfest. You need to be there to feel it, to understand.
Well, the one thing I would throw over to Glenn, we'd like to put a cruise together, and do a small cruise with a group of us, right? What do you think, Glenn?
No, we do cruises with my audience, and we just got back last month we had 40 listeners on a cruise, and we do that every year. It's our 5th or 6th one, and it's so much fun and we don't do education. It's just horse people hanging out and having a good time away from the horses. And I love that. Yes, I'm in. Sign me up.
So maybe because I'm not looking for it to be a big thing. Whoever shows up, and it doesn't, cruises are never, revenue generated. It's more just for community building, which is what we're about anyways. But
you get the education at Podfest, but the cruise is truly the hallway. What you were all just talking about. It's nothing but the hallway for those 4 days, and a lot happens, right?
Well, we'll have an agenda so you could write it off, if you know what I mean. So there'll be an agenda there.
He's going to make me go to class. You watch. He's going to make me go.
No, it'll be at dinner. We'll say dinner table talks. When we're all spending time. I'll figure it out. But I because we used to do cruises. Remember for my other community, and as long as we can show that a percentage is education, it's a business write-off, which is also another benefit for the attendees.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I'm definitely in. I'll be part of the entertainment.
He just brought it up.
Glenn, you got to talk to Katie first. We got to get Katie's buy-in, and we'll do it.
Okay.
and Glenn, since you brought it up, I think I forgot to let you know how much I love horses, and I think I need to join your network for all this amazing stuff that you do, because clearly I'm missing something over there.
There you go. I'm smelling them right now because for some reason you can never get the smell of the horses out of the back of the horse trailer. It's always there.
Peter's got turtles, right? What animals do you have, Peter? We all know I got parrots. Peter, you got turtles?
I have
1 or 2?
2.
2.
What kind? The little ones, the big ones?
A little one.
Little ones?
Do they talk?
Yeah, the red, so-called red ear turtles.
Yeah, red ear slider.
Yeah.
He's got red ear sliders, which are very common. And you know what parrots do? They do more than talk. They poop very consistently.
Yeah. A lot of cleanup with birds.
We have one that's potty trained. But that's about it.
Jodi,
how do you potty train a parrot?
It's a long story, I'll tell you one day, but it was before we had kids. That's why we haven't gotten around to the other ones. But it literally.
You see, Chris?
It's
that's
doable,
the story.
It takes a year.
That's the stories for the cruise. We need stories like those.
That's continued on the cruise. That's right.
Jodi, any pets? Cats, dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're on mute, I think.
We have no pets, no kids. When your life is recording for a living,
so having the cat crawl over the microphone is not a good idea.
Well,
can you imagine a parrot in her house?
I mean, it would not be conducive to daily recording. Let's just say.
You could ask Katie about it. She wants to strangle the bird sometimes. She will have to take
I don't blame
sleep
her.
After hours. Yeah.
See, with my shows, if you hear the horses whinny in the background, listeners love that. That's a perfect thing to happen. Right?
On brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we hear dogs barking, that's good too, because every horse person has 3 dogs. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I had pets, it probably would help my social media a lot.
Have you seen Lee's social media? Lee's social media is getting love because of her dog. Like she literally posts dog content.
Jodi, I have a pony that's very, very popular in the horse world. His name is Scooter, and he's very popular. And even Podfesters know about Scooter. But so yes, it does help.
I'm sure it does. Yes. I just have to rely on little old me.
Yeah. First thing when I meet listeners for the first time in person, they never ask about me or Jennifer. It's how's Scooter? How's Scooter? That's the first question I get everywhere I go.
That's awesome.
Now I know. Next year when I see you, Glenn, how's Scooter?
How's Scooter?
By the way, did you all see the picture of me and Glenn? I think that's my favorite one, and I feel like I'm gonna have to frame it when he has the 3 hats on.
Yeah. That was at the end when we were leaving.
I was like, "You're leaving now? Okay, let's take one selfie." At that moment, I was high on winning this award. Like nobody could tell me nothing at that moment. I was like, "Oh wow, I'm an award winning at Podfest. Yeah, can't talk to me right now." I feel like next year, Chris, right? I'm gonna bring a cardboard of myself wearing a sachet of Mayor of Podfest. And you know that holding out of office so people can just take pictures with me there, because now it's been a thing where people have to take pictures with me to get on my stories.
Oh yeah, don't think about it. Just do it. You have my
Yeah.
approval. Like, don't even anything you have that's as long as it doesn't get us all in trouble. You could do it. Just do it.
I
We
mean,
do have to have a governor, but that's a good idea. Do that.
but before we come to a close up, I want to hear from. I will share mine at the end, but I also want to hear from Jodi and Peter how it felt for you to receive this award, what that means to you. Peter, you haven't said a lot, so you go first.
Yeah, first of all, talking about the community. So without the community, without the Podfest, so I can't be in person in Orlando because from the community, from the Chris, thank you, Chris and Grant, and all the for those who sponsor me from Malaysia fly over to the US. So this was my first trip to US
Wow.
so and to Orlando as well. So I'm really grateful. And when talking about the award, so few days before, I think the last day we get the award, like the closing keynote. So Chris away remind me during the hallway, Peter, you should show out during the keynote, closing keynote to show out the. So that's why when I received it, so for me, I think I will bring the so-called the community spirit to come back to Malaysia and then to create more the community in Asia. So as just now Chris also mentioned, so Podfest will be the first Podfest Asia will be going in May. So I think we'll be share more about Podfest to the Asia country and then to the listener. Thank you. Yeah.
Love that.
Hold on, back to you.
And isn't that special? Like your first trip has to do with Podfest, and you won a Podfest award, and it was the 10th anniversary. You're like, it just feels like you're never gonna forget 2024.
Peter, did they let
Definitely,
cowboys
yeah.
with cowboy hats in Asia so I can come?
Yeah,
Will they
yes.
let me in?
They
Yeah.
had the
Okay.
they had the horse committee as well. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, just so you guys know, Peter, I told Peter, please be in the keynote room because he was always in the hallways. So I had to remind him, like, hey, just for the closing keynotes, it'd be good to see your face. So he had no idea why I was saying that. It'd be nice to have you in there. So he made sure he was in there. He honored I said, please, it's important. And he was there.
It's funny because the night before where we had the moped party, you told me the same thing. You were like, Paula, make sure you're in the hall for the keynote for the at 4 o'clock for the. You just said make sure you're there all at the main hall at 4 o'clock. I was like, why? And you're like, just be there. I was like, okay, don't shout at me. I will be there. But in my head, I was like, oh, Heather is doing the keynote and she's finishing. So in my head, I was like, maybe just wanted to make sure a lot of people are in there for the keynote speaking. So it didn't even. I was just like, it's funny how Chris told me to go to be able. Who is he going to tell me where to be? Maybe I had a lot of. No, I'm joking. But I was just like, this is funny. So I literally came and I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, guess we're done. As soon as Heather was leaving, that's when I was like, oh, okay. Go ahead, Jodi. How about you?
Oh, okay. I was pretty amazed, actually. And the funny thing was that I had spent a lot of time with my voiceover colleagues because several of them did attend while I was at that convention. So it was interesting to be told by Chris to be in the room. I didn't know what he had planned. That was wonderful, and I am very awkward at receiving such things. So I remember bumping into people all over the stage. Like I just I was just a little overwhelmed, I guess. But it was really special to be thought of that way, and I love this community so much, and it's it really has become like a second home to me. And I thought voiceover conferences were my first home. You know, I don't know. Podfest is definitely in the running there.
I mean, we're taking you on a cruise, okay?
I'm totally thinking about that. Yes. But thank you,
love
Chris. This is
it.
wonderful. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I love that. And as far as for me, half of the time when you're doing whatever you're doing and not sure if people resonate with it, if people really are seeing you, especially being podcasters, right? It's not like we get as much reviews or people tell us like, oh my God. So to be in a community that and for me it's like I wasn't doing it for recognition, right? I was just showing up to a community that shows up for me in so many different ways. Like my entire podcasting people who I've met through Podfest. So literally when I talk about my podcasting journey, Podfest is number one there, because without Podfest it wasn't. So to give back and to be able to be seen and recognized for things that, yes, we want to be seen, but you also like, it doesn't matter if it's does or not, because I love this community. I see what it does for me, and I'm still going to keep showing up and doing that. So that was really a beautiful moment. I have never cried at Podfest because I come for fun and be loud, and I cried so much, and it was just that word. And then me and Jamie were just having too many emotional moments together. Every time I saw Jamie, and she would look at me and we start crying. I'm like, even Alex came to me like, "What did you do to Jamie? Why is she crying?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I'm also crying." We were
There's nobody
cry
better
baby.
at crying than Jemmy, so you're good.
Even the son one time was like, Jordan was like, "I don't get it. Why y'all crying?" And this was like after Sunday, after we did our talk, and I went on our table, and we were just hugging each other and crying. And Jordan looked at us and was like, "I don't get it. Why y'all crying? What's there to cry about?" And we're like, we looked at Jordan, we looked at each other, and started crying again. But and then Lee, and then everything, like it just felt for me for a 10th year anniversary. This left a very big impression of me, and it has even pushed me and encouraged me to continue showing up and continue being the person I am and continue pouring out to this community that pours so much to me. So thank you. And I like the part that, because I remember that night before, I told Chris, I was like, "Chris, have you heard? I'm officially the mayor of Podfest." And this was something that Adam Shibley, like when he reposted my picture, and then he put a caption, "Mayor of Podfest," and was telling everybody, "Yeah, you've seen Paula, yeah, the Mayor of Podfest, yeah, I've seen her, she's right over there." So I ran with it, and then when Chris ended up calling me for my award, mentioning that, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's it, it's official. I'm officially the Mayor of Podfest. Like y'all can't take that away from me now."
I love it. You know, you have it. It's yours.
But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sharing this. This was so special for me. But before we leave, right? I want you all to share about your podcast, and if you have any project coming up, if you are where people can find you. And I know, Chris, you had a big announcement that you shared with us an hour ago. If you also want to share about that and anything about Podfest, so that people can, we want more people. Podfest is, we're just growing and we are going international, and eventually we'll make it to Africa too. Let's start with Asia. So.
Africa's on the list, believe it or not. We've been looking at different things there. The big announcement for us is we will do Podfest Asia in Manila on May 8th. So I'll be flying out. We have location, we have audio visual, we have all the necessities. Now we just, like Podfest, so, I wrote the book Start Ugly. We've started, now we're perfecting it. So we're excited to plant the seeds in Asia. We will be doing, the pod tour is going to grow exponentially. I think we started with like 20 cities. Last year we did 23, 24 cities. This year we're expecting over 30 cities with the community, of course, spearheading them. We will support it. And next year the dates are, January 30th to February 2nd. And we haven't done a masterclass in a while, like our online forum. So we're doing a creator tools, AI creator tools and masterclass virtual summit. And Glenn, I don't know if you caught this, but we'll be going to the National Association of Broadcasters for the first time in a long time to literally solidify a lot of these partnerships that we have just haven't made the time really, because we've been so busy just trying to, coming out of COVID, just trying to stay alive in a way. But this past year, I think with Lee Silverstein's magic juju that he put on for all of us, one thing I want to share is he always loved Podfest. It's obvious when he made sure to show up to his last Podfest. He solidified a lot of things for a lot of us and put things into perspective. But to him, Podfest, the most amazing thing watching our friend Lee, I know Glenn and I were watching, new people would come up to him and we weren't sure if they were zapping his strength or time, because he was pretty frail, and he must have talked to half a dozen new people when I was there, giving them advice, at his final Podfest, and he would look at us, say, "I'm okay, I'm fine." And he spent like a couple hours of his moments there with new people, asking them new questions, and he was more than happy to answer those questions. And I will tell you guys, we have done a lot of how to get started, a beginner class at Podfest, like for beginners. The best beginner class we ever did was Lee Silverstein. He told me one year, he goes, "I want to do this for the beginners, and I want to have," he goes, "You stay out of it. I got it." Because I was meddling a little bit, and he goes, "I got it, Chris, please." It was the highest marks we've ever gotten for a beginner class, because Lee he loved helping people get started. It was one of his passions. So I just think for me this year, Lee is the reason why we named our documentary, The Messengers, a podcast documentary. So this year is dedicated to all the messengers that are looking to get started or exponentialize their voice, in honor of Lee Silverstein. So that's kind of what's in the back of my head as we grow to the next level. It's Lee's fairy dust being sprinkled on new people, whether they know it or not.
I love that. And it's so true what you say, because Amanda Russo got to speak to Lee for like less than 5 minutes, and that has changed our whole life and how she's moving forward this year. And it's incredible to see how one human being can touch you even in a 1 minute conversation. And that's the power of Podfest, right?
Amanda, I think, is the first person, as far as I know, that got a Podfest tattoo. So
yeah, she really went all out on that one.
Podfest makes you
Chris
do
doesn't
crazy
even have a
things.
Podfest tattoo.
I have to tell her to add the TM for trademark on it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make like little stickers for next year for Amanda's tattoo.
Something? That's not a bad idea. We'll talk to her. We'll make the little. If people want to join Amanda, they could have, and we'll have Amanda in charge of that. That's good. She'll be your deputy mayor, so we'll deputize her.
Oh yeah, because and it's funny because we are kind of almost the same, and our energies are almost also the same. And she just went as hard as I did on the first year. So I feel like, that's my twin from like a different world. So I will take her as a deputy mayor.
Well, yeah, you got to deputize her. So we got to have a whole ceremony around it before it's got to be official.
All right. So Glenn, let us know.
Yeah, I'm founder of the Horse Radio Network. We do about 30 shows all about horses. I host Horses in the Morning, which is one of the longest running daily podcasts in the world. We're at 15 years and 3,400 episodes. Mm-hmm. So I do that. And when we travel, I do it from the back of my horse trailer right here. But yeah, that's what I do. You can find us at Horses in the Morning on any podcast player. And it's a lot of fun. We have a fun show. A lot of non-horse people listen. I have a terrific my co-host has been with me for all those 3,400 episodes. So, and that's very rare in podcasting that you work with.
That's just your episodes, right, Glenn? That's the ones you and Jamie do.
That's that's just ours. Yeah,
that's not his network. His network, it's like it's not even close to. It's like a lot.
We're at 11,000 now on the network.
That's what I thought. It was north of 10,000. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but no, we've done 3,400 ourselves together. So it's fun. We have a good time.
When I grow up, I want to be like Glenn. Like, there's power in being the geek, okay? So, you know how back in the days we used to laugh at the geeks? But now I'm like, I'm ready to be a geek. Like, Glenn, put me on, okay?
Well,
I
I gotta tell you, Paulo, I get asked all the time, how do we do it for this long? And I tell everybody it's just one episode at a time, and it's true of life, right?
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
deal with one day at a time, and then you deal with the next day, and then you deal with the next. Chris has had to do that his whole podcast career, right? You're just dealing with
Yeah.
one day at a time. You're dealing with one show at a time, and then all of a sudden you're at 3,400 shows. You know, that's as simple as it is. It really is that simple. You're dealing with one at a time.
love that one at a time.
True.
All right, Jodi, you're next.
Well, yeah, hi. I have a podcast called Audio Branding, the Hidden Gem of Marketing. I talk about the importance of sound and how it influences both our buying decisions and our daily lives. It's been going since November of 2019, so over 4 years. And yeah, and Podfest was one of the first places that I decided to go when I started the podcast because I just wanted to know more of what was going on in the community. And it turns out it's a pretty awesome community. So I'm a voice actor. I've been doing that full time for 16 plus years now. And I do intros and outros for podcasts all the time, and announcements and corporate narration and commercials and all that sorts of things. So if anyone's interested in the podcast, they can check that out at audiobrandingpodcast.com. Or if they're interested in my voiceover services for anything that they need in that vein, then they can look me up at voiceoversandvocals.com.
That. And I love that the first place you sorted after starting your podcast was Podfest, because that's the same with me, right?
Yeah,
So-
it was totally welcoming.
And we never left. We got stuck in it, and now they're awarding us and shit. Like
I got
we stuck
sucked
for
in.
life.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to get us to a cruise and stuff. Like, we're not getting out, you know. We're
I'm
never getting out.
addicted now. there's
Yeah,
no,
challenge-
there's no
challenge
going
for the-
back.
The challenge for the three of you. This is something Glenn and I would like to see. I hope it's okay if I'm speaking for you, Glenn. We will want to create some kind of program for the first timers to come back a second time. So maybe we create like the 2-timers program. But if you could help us figure out how we could get that muscle going, because we know once someone comes back a second time, they're pretty much in forever.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we like if you could help us with that, because then we could host people that are thinking about coming a second time. Once they're in the second time, they've already built the family's built for them.
Got you. You remember I brought Sandy last year for the first time. She came this year for the second
Oh,
time.
Sandy's awesome.
And she has become besties with Katie. We were having a fun on the dance floor, me, Sandy, and Katie. I did not know Katie can speak with the accent proper Spanish. When I saw her trying to, this is a funny story, maybe but she was trying. The bar was closed, and she was trying to get her last drink, and she was
Mhm.
Spanishing it up for the bartender. I was like, Katie, I love this other side of it. It was amazing, but yeah.
A lot of my voiceover colleagues are planning on coming next year.
That's awesome,
So
Jodi.
yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
but
to that.
if you guys think about it, we'll put you on some kind of. We'll create like a Podfest meetup for the people that came first time last year, to then tell them, hey, we'll figure out some kind of program. But it would be great to have some help because we got Glenn on different duties now inside Podfest. But just think about it when the time comes. But Jodi, thank you. But all these other people we don't know that came for the first time,
Let
love
us
to
know
wrap
what you
them in.
need.
Yeah, I gotta put my head around it, but let's figure it out together.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got you. And especially with this year, there was a lot of Black people in there, which I love seeing the Black people getting out of their shell and coming to Podfest. And most of them were first timers. And we created a group on Instagram called After Podfest for all the Black people who were at Podfest. And most of them are first timers. And some of them, like I had one of the guys yesterday on my show like last night, and he's already been to Adam's Podpals. And he's like, yo, I'm looking forward to next year, because I've even been trying to get them. I'm like, please apply to be a speaker, because I love first timers when they apply to be speakers. And most of the time people fear in applying to be a speaker. But I was like, do you know how I applied to be a speaker? I was learning to get the word no, because I was like, I'm in this industry, a lot of people are going to tell me no, so let me learn to hear the word no. And that's how I applied to speak at Podfest. I was waiting for the no, and I ended up getting a yes. I was like, They don't even know me. I've just been podcasting for like 6-7 months. How are they giving me a stage to speak? Like, so I was trying to motivate them, like, you have a story, you have something to teach. So don't me, Peter and Jodi got this. We'll bring the first timers back.
Yeah.
Peter, you're next.
Yeah. So speaking about my podcast is called Momentum. So as you all know that I start my own podcast because of Podfest and because of Chris the book Start Ugly. So we need to keep the momentum to bring the first timer to continue, have the momentum to join our community, become the Podfest, and then become the Podfan family. Yeah. And for me, I'm a Japanese teacher, and then I'm great that to be part of the Podfest family. Thank you. Paula.
Love it. Well, you guys, I had so much fun hanging out with y'all and learning more about Glenn the Geek Community Hero Award and just seeing a different sides of both of y'all. Like, I just love it. And I have one question for you, Chris, right? Normally around March right now would be gearing up for Podfest Global, right? But this year, I think things have kind of switched because you're bringing masterclass back, which I don't believe we have. I think the last masterclass I had about was in 2021 when we did it, or 2020. So is Podfest Global gonna come this year, or because of the AI masterclass, we are not doing Podfest Global this year?
Yeah, so this year it'll probably be masterclass, and then we're going to switch to Podfest Asia, and then the pod tour takes up a lot of the infrastructure, and then we'll have the in-person Podfest next year. So we create what the community needs. This year, we need a clearinghouse to understand all these tools. There's just too many of them.
So true.
And we're one of the only communities where we could have 50 individuals that are experts in 50 different AI tools to say, here's what I know, here's what I think, and then each person could pick what they need to know. So right now, we guide it by what the community needs. So that we believe that the creator tools and AI that Podfest will deliver to creators around the world is the biggest use of our community to help others. But I do love global, but for us to bring it back, and we will, it has to be the right circumstance, and that you guys were part of those. They take a lot of energy. I was telling Katie the other day, I don't even understand how we would have 3 tracks, 8 different languages. And I've been living in a booth like this till like midnight every night for like 2 weeks. And then I asked her, I said, how the heck were you doing it? She goes, yeah, I was solo for 2 weeks while you're doing Pod Global. So it was just a unique time and place that it worked. And those 3 tracks all had hundreds of people on them. It was crazy. So
I wonder how Peter does it, because it's like a whole different time zone, and with everything, like those 2 weeks, I feel like whenever Global is over, Peter is like, I do not want to hear Podfest for at least 1 week now.
He would save us at night when we were tired, and I know he's on a whole different time zone. He was putting in those notes. I mean, he was as crucial to Global as anyone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So thank you all so much. And for all you guys, Pod Tour is coming up. If you want Pod Tour to come to your city, please DM Andrew. I believe if you need the email, DM me. I'll be able to give you the link. If you are an AI expert or me expert, you have a tool that you use and you want to speak, they're looking for speakers. I believe the deadline is next Wednesday, is it?
Yes, to 15th of yeah. Just
apply better than you do. You know that.
Yeah.
And they're also still accepting speakers for Podfest 2025, which is going to be January 31st to February 2nd next year. And the speaker submission deadline is March 31st, which is end of this month. If you need links or information and all of that, please feel free to DM me or any of these amazing, beautiful faces. But don't DM Glenn, because he gets already, we're trying to not get him more messages and emails. Like, I feel like 50 emails. So by all means, DM me and I'll be the Flash, Peter the Flash, is quick on that.
The mayor of Podfest.
The mayor got you.
The mayor of Podfest.
And we already got her deputy. We got to give you like a key to the city, to the Podfest proper,
I need to come to like Florida, the meetup, and we do it. Like I'm in your seat and I'm being handed the key of Podfest.
Oh no,
you know?
Glenn's got to be part of the presentation. We'll have a whole presentation at the IHOP at the little meetup we have.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's like where the Olympic torch starts. We got to start it there, right? Like
Yep,
where
that's
the
right.
flame starts.
We all started at the
Going
IHOP.
back from where we started, I love it. Y'all just keep throwing these ideas. You don't know me. I'm a run with them and I'm a hunt you down. Like, so you remember we said that we were going to do this, so let's make it happen. I'm going to be in Florida next week. Y'all just wait. But also, Chris, you're going to be in Atlanta this week.
I'll be in Atlanta for the voiceover conference Friday and Saturday, and then back home for spring break. My girls are off for a week, so we're excited.
I'll try to make sure I come see you. We just had our Pod Atlanta meetup on the 29th. I was there with Chris and Mark couldn't make it last minute emergency with his son, but the rest of us showed up. We're trying to rebuild the Atlanta podcasting community, and I am a part of the plan of that. So the February was my hosting, January was Kim. So we're kind of taking help in helping Mark create and rebuild this. So by the time you come back for Porto and Atlanta, it will be, a lot of new stuff around. So we're excited.
I have a feeling you guys might be our #1 city this year because a lot of people show up in Atlanta for us. It's always a great city.
We love it. Well, thank you guys, and I'm gonna let you all go and enjoy the rest of your day. It was amazing having you on Shit Happens.
Bye, everybody.
And
Thank you.
see you all
Bye.
soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Peter. Bye, Jody.